To the Corporate Sister TV, where we discuss all things career, business, and lifestyle for working women. My name is Solange Los, and I am the founder of the Corporate Sister blog and brand. Today, we're talking about nixing the fear around career change and career transitions. Let's keep it real. Any type of change or transitions in any area of our lives is challenging, right? After all, we get so used to doing things in a certain way, looking at things in a certain way, thinking about things in a certain way, that adding any element of change or transition to any element of our lives can seem to take a toll on us, right? And that's especially true when it comes to our careers. After all, that's how we earn our keep. That's where we get our coins from. In very many instances, that's what we build our lifestyles around. And that's also where we get this certain sense of security and stability, especially financial security and stability in our lives. So taking all of this and putting it in the balance and shaking it all up a little bit and adding an element of change and transition can be very, very challenging and very, very scary, actually. So today what we're going to do is look at the 7 myths around career change and career transitions that are making us scared and keeping us stuck in jobs that we positively hate at times, careers that are unfulfilling to us, in which we're not using our God-given talents and skills, and that are keeping us away from fulfilling our purpose. This first career myth is career transitions are too hard. Okay, we've talked about it earlier. Any change or any transitions, especially affecting your career, is going to be challenging. There's going to be an element of a learning curve, of learning new things, of leaving an environment or a team or a company that you're used to, or facing brand new challenges that you're not used to facing and that you may not necessarily have the tools and resources to face. It's going to involve a certain amount of challenges. It's going to involve a certain amount of pain, and it's not going to be easy. Once we've established that, now let's look at a good old cost-benefit analysis. What is it going to cost you to stay for the next 5, 10, 20 years in a job that you may positively hate, in a career that is not the right fit for you, in an environment that is toxic for you, and in a place where you're not fulfilling your purpose and you're not using your God-given skills and talents? On the other hand, what is it going to cost to you to give up an upfront investment in time, energy, resources, and maybe finance as you undergo a career transition to get to doing work that you love, that fulfills us, that gives you a sense of accomplishment and a sense of worth, and in the end can make your general work and life satisfaction much higher? Let's look at the cost of these two alternatives. Consider them for yourself in your current circumstances, in your current context, and start thinking about whether this career transition is too hard and whether it's going to cost you too much on one hand to stay or too much on one hand to leave. That was myth number 1. Myth number 2 is it's not the right time for a career transition. It's never the right time for a career transition. It's never the right time for any type of change. It's never the right time to have a baby, to move, or to have your in-laws stay for the summer. Let's be honest. So in order to nix this myth and this fear around it not being the right time for a career transition, just start acting. Start taking small but decisive steps towards finding out about your dream career, researching what is expected in this dream career and how you can get started. It can be as easy as researching your network and asking questions, or simply doing a Google research about your dream career that you're planning to transition in. Just start acting. Take small but decisive steps towards it. Myth number 3 is I don't know the right people to make a career transition. Actually, this may very well be a false myth, right? We all have networks of people around us. The only mistake we make when it comes to our network is not growing it, and two, not tapping into it. So start tapping into your network to identify people who may be knowledgeable about the career transition that you're planning on doing. Start identifying people that you admire in your desired career or profession, or in the new team that you want to join, or in the new company that you want to join. Chances are you may have at least one person in your immediate network who either knows somebody else that you can talk to or somebody else that you can connect with. So start, one, tapping into your existing network, and two, growing this network by attending events around your career of choice, events around the company that you may be planning on joining, or around the team that you may be planning on joining, or whatever change that you may be planning on implementing in your career. Myth number 4 is I don't have enough money for a career transition. And this is very prevalent for those who are planning for a transition from full-time employment to full-time entrepreneurship. This is a transition I went through myself very recently. And yes, money and finances can be a very real concern. If you're moving to a different geographic location for a different type of job, or if you're starting, at the bottom in a brand new career, and you may be forfeiting some of your old salary and you may have to start at a much lower salary, finances are going to be a concern. The answer and the antidote to this is to start planning for it. Start saving aggressively. Start cutting out any unnecessary expenses. You should have at least 6 to 12 months of savings, including all your living expenses, stashed away in order for you to be ready for this career change or career transition. So you can start this a year, 2 years, or even more ahead of time, but just start putting money aside, and start cutting your necessary expenses, so that whatever happens through this career transition, even if what happens is totally unexpected and is costing you more than you may have thought initially, at least you're somewhat prepared. Myth number 4 is, what are people going to think? Well, this is a very prevalent myth, especially for working women. We're always concerned about what people are going to think. Some career changes are so drastic that you may be criticized for them. You may be judged for them. In any cases, people's opinions are going to come into the balance. The problem is, are you going to let people's opinions weigh so much that they deter you from making a beneficial change for your career and for yourself? Or are you going to just take it into account, move forward, and do something that is good for you? So in order to fight this, what are people going to think, just get prepared for it and keep moving forward. It's going to happen anyways, but what's more important is the progress and the strength that you gain through the process, and the goals and objectives that you're able to reach through this process. Myth number 6 is, I may not have all the skills required for this career transition or career change. This is also very, very prevalent for working women. Do you know that a professional woman will not apply for a position unless she's almost 100% qualified for a job, whereas a man will apply for the very same position when he's only 60% qualified for the same job, which means that men tend to believe more in their potential, whereas we as working women tend to believe more into our abilities and tangible skills. And we're always deterring ourselves from making beneficial changes in our careers, in our lives, or from taking leaps of faith because we think we're not qualified enough. You are qualified. You have God-given talents and skills that you have not tapped into yet. You have more than you think you have at your disposal. So go ahead and try it. The worst answer you can get is no, but you shouldn't be forfeiting a wonderful opportunity, even if it may cost you at first, just because you may think you're not qualified enough. And last but not least, myth number 7 is, what if I fail? The fear of failure when making a career transition or change is very real. You may be wondering, well, what if this doesn't work? What is going to happen? What if I lose all my money? What if I lose all this experience and all this work that I've put in my career already because I'm trying to make this career transition or career change? The one way of fighting this myth is to ask yourself the opposite question. What if you succeed? What if it all works out much better than you would have ever imagined? You will never know until you try it. So if this career transition or career change is really worth it for you, and if you sense that it is really the next step in your career and the ultimate way for you to find work fulfillment, to make an impact, fulfill your purpose, and use your God-given talents and skills, you should definitely go for it. So as a quick recap of these 7 myths that we need to fight in order to nix the fear around career change, they are: number 1, career transitions are too hard. No, you can do this. Number 2, it's not the right time for a career transition. It's never the right time. Start acting and start preparing. Myth number 3, I don't know the right people. You can always tap into your existing network and grow it to reach out to and connect to the people you need to connect with in order to get as much information about your dream career and profession as possible. Myth number 4, I don't have enough money for a career transition. Start saving aggressively. Start cutting out any unneeded expenses and save up at least 6 to 12 months of living expenses before making your career leap. Myth number 5, what are people going to think? People are always going to have an opinion, but you had a purpose before they had an opinion. So start making your career transition. Myth number 6, I don't have all the skills necessary for this job. You are qualified. Remember that men will apply for the same position when they're only 60% qualified. You are qualified. You have more than you think you have. Go for it. Myth number 6 is, what if I fail? The antidote to this, what if you succeed? So how are you going to attack your next career transition or career change? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.